Welcome back, everyone, to Hearts of Iron for Mod Spotlight. And this time it's going to be about Darkest Tower, which is a mod about vanilla that has been, well, released a while ago, but I never really got the verb to really try it. Although, like, I've been looking for the page on the Steam Workshop, but I cannot find it for the life of me, so I do not know what the hell happened to it. But yeah, I do have it downloaded, and it's been receiving some updates. Now, what does the mod actually do? Well, it is supposed to be a vanilla overhaul, but see, that's why I wanted to have the Steam page, because I think it's supposed to do a lot more than it does right now, but it's not really doing it. So essentially, okay, here we are. So essentially, it is, you know, yet another vanilla mod that wants to make everything historically accurate or whatever. And it is also made by a person called Algerian General, who is very interesting because he has collaborated with a lot of mods out there. For example, ooh, wow, that's kind of cool. Looks like some historical events are around. Some very, very interesting historical events are around. The East Turkestan War, which is not something you see every day. Anyway, so the whole idea of the mod is, again, to make the game a little bit more historically accurate, and it seems also to curb on some of the alternate history. Some, but not all. That's where the mod gets very interesting. Now, I'll just be, you know, if you do not mind, I'll just be playing as we do along, so that I can show you, you know, the combat and all. Just playing as Italy to try out how the mod works. And essentially, the whole idea is, again, making the game a little bit more historically accurate and expanding things like tech, expanding, I guess, the political system, although that not much has been done there. And yeah, the problem is a few of those things don't really happen, but I'll show you why I say that. Now, first of all, the mod looks amazing. Like, I think that the graphics and all, the way everything looks is pretty damn great. And to be honest, if more mods were to look like this, I'd play them. Like, this just looks so professional, it's insane. If you look at the UI, it is great. If you look at the map, it is also pretty great, although it very much looks like the Cold War mod. So obviously, you know, I'm kind of used to the look here. And, you know, it kind of works, even though it's like, it's a kind of look that normally you'd associate with something like a modern day mod, but, you know, it does work. And yeah, so the reason why I say that perhaps it doesn't do what it wants to do that well is if we go to look at, you know, the features. So essentially, the mod is vanilla, you know, starts in 1936. With the countries being all the same, no real big map changes, nothing too strange. Countries do not really have like massive focus trees. Like, for example, if you look at Italy, it is literally just the standard focus tree. And some countries have different focus trees, such as Germany, although they're actually smaller because, I don't know, maybe they hid other parts. Maybe they are doing something different that I do not understand. But yeah, they're trying to make everything a little bit more, or at least it seems like they're trying to make everything a little bit more compact. Some countries that had focus trees do not have them, such as Yugoslavia. Well, all the Deaf or Dishonor nations just have a generic focus tree. Now, I know it looks like it's unique because it says Czechoslovak Army, but it's actually like every nation has their own adjective as the first focus name, but the rest is just the same. So yeah, it's just literally they found a way to make the focuses change automatically, maybe according to the adjectives. Yeah, like for example, East Turkestani Army, or here Xinjiang Army, without really them meaning anything. They're just the same focuses. Some countries, again, have different focuses, and they all look really awesome in terms of the whole graphics, as I said, but they're pretty much small focus trees that focus on bigger focuses that maybe have more impact, except for the generic ones, which are pretty worthless. Also, one thing that pisses me off is that you can, like, the AI doesn't seem to be weighted to take really anything. So, like, for example, you saw there, here, East Turkestan, sorry, not East Turkestan, Xinjiang took Xinjiang Navy. They're landlocked. For some reason, they're taking Navy focuses. I do not know why. And, yeah, again, as I said, some of these countries that used to have focuses do not have them anymore, such as China, Manchukuo. You know, all the DLC focus trees were removed for some reason, which is kind of strange. The portraits look awesome, so that's a plus. The icons all look amazing. There's 5 ideologies. There's fascist, which is up at the top, authoritarian, which is basically non-aligned, democratic, socialist, and communist. Although I believe at the start of the game, no one starts socialist, right? Well, okay, apparently Xinjiang starts socialist, which doesn't make any sense, considering this guy was a warlord, but whatever. I guess, I don't know. They don't want to make him communist, but I don't know. It's kind of derpy. So anyway, in the political screen, we can see that there's the new ideologies, there's the focus trees, there's national spirits, although not really that many, except like France has a lot, and Germany has a lot, but you know, it's not one of those mods that just adds national spirits to everyone and everything. There's a cabinet system where you have obviously different picks that you can have for your ministers. They start filled out, so that's obviously quite good. It's obviously meant to be filled up with pictures as well later on. Reminds me a lot of Hearts of Iron 2, obviously. And that is in theme with the mod. Then you can do a drift, which is going to be your ideology support. Just kind of a standard thing, nothing really too strange. And then you have your laws, you know, normal stuff, research, theorists, military staff, which starts out already filled out, which is a nice thing, because yeah, I just really dislike how you have to fill it out in the normal game, because it's like countries regularly have people working for them, you know. And then you have your military high command, which, you know, just if you want a little bit more bonus to something or the other. So that's pretty standard. In terms of decisions, nothing too strange. There's the same normal decisions. Some countries have unique decisions, such as the Italians can join the Anti-Comintern Pact and seek German friendship, which I'm guessing is what creates the access. Maybe they said no. Who knows? Their opinion of us is pretty high. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, there's some decisions. There's some, you know, standard ones, and there's some unique ones, but, you know, nothing you've never seen before. Wait, what? Apparently it's Sov. And yeah, like, for example, the Soviet Union doesn't even have anyone or any decisions, probably because they already took some of them. Soviet economics. Everyone loves that. And yeah, as you can see, some of these have pictures, and they look really, really awesome. Again, keeping in with the great graphical prowess that the modders seem to have shown with this one. And yeah, in the production screen, again, nothing really changes except everything looks pretty cool. One thing that I dislike for the graphics is how the icons up here, the alerts, look. I don't really get the, you know, really urge to click these things, because they don't really have like bright, you know, alarm kind of colors. They're just kind of mute. So like, for example, my brain doesn't really register that this is a problem, you know, this sort of red. Whereas the normal game, I just see that immediately. I'm like, okay, right, okay, what is that? What do I have to do? You know? So that's just kind of that. Then you've got your diplomacy, you know, normal stuff. You can see every country. Nothing really too strange. Trade, nothing has changed. Construction, you know, it's just standard. Production. Now, to get to production, first we're going to need to take a look at the tech tree, which is the other thing that's good about this. This tech tree is good. It's... I like it. It's got unique pictures. It's got a very, very distinctive feeling about it. It's got a relatively readable outlook, or not really outlook, but like really readable, you could say, layout. And it goes down all the way to like 1990s, although I sincerely doubt that you will ever be able to use the stuff later on. Clearly it's supposed to be something that later on is expanded down the development line, and perhaps more things are done with it. Now you might be noticing that in the infantry stuff there's no like special forces. That's because they've been parceling out the tech tree, so there's a whole special forces tab, which again kind of tells me that this is going to be expanded in the future. And I like how they switched it up just to make sure that different sections of the tree have their own weight and their own importance. Support companies are the same, artillery is the same, armor is not the same, but you know, it goes all the way down to 1916. And then goes all the way to the 1990s, with, you know, a big portion of it being dedicated to the 1936 to 1945, as you'd expect. Unfortunately, here you do not have unique pictures. That's probably because Italy doesn't have them, but probably if we go look at Germany, yeah, you can see that they have unique pictures, and don't you think this looks pretty damn good? It's a bit like East versus West, in a way. That's really what it feels like, with the graphics and all. But yeah, it looks great, and you know, really gives you the feel that stuff is happening, that you're not just dealing with, oh, by the way, yeah, this mod makes things demonetized, so beware. Also, don't post pictures of this on the whatchamacallit, on the Paradox forums. The good graphic kind of trend continues down to the province UI. It just looks fucking amazing, as you can see. You know, every information that you need is readily available, really easily readable, and it looks good. So yeah, that's nice. I guess the only thing that would be kind of a problem is the available slots look a little bit like military factories, but you know, honestly, you can't really blame them for that. So yeah, you've got other, obviously, I love that monitor. You've got other sections of the tree that are also pretty interesting. Although the problem is when there's no icon, it really looks out of place, because everything else, see, it's like if you see this icon in a normal Hearts of Iron 4 mod, you think, ah, well, it's just not in yet. It's okay though, because the normal Hearts of Iron 4 icons don't look that great either. However, with this mod, everything looks just so damn polished that once you see this, it's really, really a big downer. So that's kind of shooting themselves in the foot. Anyway, Navy stuff looks even better. Then you have your so it's like the Navy is divided between screen ships, which also includes transports and submarines, capital ships, which has battlecruisers, battleships, and aircraft carriers, and light carriers and escort carriers and super heavy battleships. Although the thing that really pisses me off about the super heavy battleships is that it's bugged. Like the 1936 super heavy battleship doesn't require the 1936 battleship, it requires the 1945 battleship. So for some reason you have to research the 1945, which is actually not 1945. It's 1939. And it does make sense that this is 1939 because, you know, it is like the Iowa, you know? If we take a look at the Americans, I'm pretty sure that tech is supposed to be the Iowa, because it's the equivalent of the Impero class, right? Yeah, it's the Iowa class, so yeah, it's a 1939 ship for some sorry, 1940, but for some reason it's shown as if it is 1945. So yeah, a bit of a Looks like that mismatch is there with everyone. Yeah, perhaps they need to kind of switch around these things a little bit. And, yeah, kind of make sure that they're matched, you know, that the UI is fully matched. Anyway, so that's that. Looks great. Unfortunately, it's a bit of a bug because, again, it requires, for some reason, the 1940 battleship instead of the 1939. And, yeah, it's kind of derpy. Then you have aircraft, which, unfortunately, if you're not maybe Germany, maybe the UK. Let's see if the UK have these icons. Kind of. They actually have icons rather than pictures, which really looks out of place, to be honest. It would be great if they were all pictures, like apparently the Americans are. Yeah, see, this looks nice. And see, if everything was like with the Brits, if everything was okay. That's annoying. If everything looked like this, then these, by comparison, don't look quite so bad. But because everything looks like a great picture, you know, pisses you off. Pisses you off a fair bit. Anyway, then you have strategic bombers. Sorry, not strategic bombers. Heavy bombers. Heavy bombers and light fighters. Helicopters, which by now are becoming kind of a staple of all these mods. Land Doctrine, which is the same as the normal game. Naval Doctrine, which is the same as the normal game. Air Doctrine, which is the same as the normal game. Industry, which is the same as the normal game. Engineering, which is the same as the normal game. Rockets, which are the same as the normal game. And nukes, which are expanded, because it's supposed to go a little bit further. Actually, the rockets are a little bit expanded too, maybe. Yeah, there's an extra rocket tech, the ICBM. I wonder if you could put a nuke on the ICBM. That would be hilarious. Anyway, that's the tech tree. And yeah, so that goes into production, where you have obviously a few more items that you can produce, such as support weapons, such as if we look at the tanks, there's more types. If we look at the outdated equipment, you know, you can produce the Mark 17s if you want, sorry, Mark 4s if you want, 1917 tanks, and your standard aircraft line up. Then your Navy stuff, obviously. And obviously all of that goes into the division designer. For some reason there's SS stuff, which I do not understand. But yeah, everything else is pretty much what you'd expect, except it looks, to be honest, better. It's a little bit like modern day 4. Like, these icons are definitely those from modern day 4, except they're in you know, World War II, Hearts of Iron 4. But in modern day 4 they look good, so here they look good. That's pretty much it. And yeah, see, that's the thing. That's literally pretty much it, though, because I think it's supposed to have more content. I do not know, though, if it's supposed to have more content, because, as I said, the Steam Workshop page doesn't appear to be working. It might have been taken down because of something, I do not know. But yeah, it's not really making it easy to understand what this mod was supposed to have other than this. Because as it stands right now, it might be like what is here is good, but it's not that much, especially considering that the mod has been in development for a long, long time, you know? But I guess, I don't know, we shall know at some point, but so far, I can't say there's more to the mod than this. Like, there's clearly new historical events, there's clearly new tech tree, new mechanics somewhere here and there, and the combat feels smooth, but it doesn't really feel different in any way from regular Hearts of Iron 4. And that's a big shame, because again, everything looks so damn great. The UI is fantastic, the you know, the UI is fluid, the mod runs well, it doesn't really slow down the game, everything is readable, everything seems to make sense, unlike some other mods, cough cough black ice. It's just that there's not much, and so it's kind of sad. I wonder what's been happening with the mod. Anyway, yeah, do I have anything else to say? No, probably not. So I guess if you want to try it out for yourself, it's gonna be down in the description, obviously. If any one of you knows why the mod seems to simplify some things that it could, you know, not, and why... Ooh, there's the East Chahar Autonomous Region. That's always good to see. And there's the East Hebei Autonomous Political Council. Sorry, Autonomous Council. Not the Hebei Chahar Political Council. Yeah, if... Oh my god. Hebei-nensis Army. He could just call it Hebei Army, but whatever. Yeah, if any one of you knows what's up with this mod, tell me down below. This is what I can observe, and you know, what I can observe is good, but not much. So yeah, I guess yeah, with that I'll sign off and see you guys soon.